Then, out of nowhere, the seller decided to accept another offer. Now, here's the twist. They had already signed the purchase agreement with my clients. Turns out the seller got cold feet, then got dollar signs in their eyes when another buyer offered a few thousand more and waived contingencies. That's not just frustrating, it's legally messy.
Welcome to Local Living Tri-City, your go-to podcast for exploring the vibrant communities of Temecula, Murrieta, and Menifee. Join me, Liz Jones, as we dive into real estate insights and local business stories, bringing you closer to the heart of our Tri-City area. Let's get started with today's episode.
Hey there, friends. Welcome back to Local Living Tri-City. I'm Liz Jones, your trusted real estate expert and community advocate here in Temecula, Murrieta, and Menifee. Now, I usually come to you with encouraging stories and helpful tips for navigating the housing market, but today we're doing something a little different. Today I'm sharing a few real estate horror stories. Yep, those deals that go sideways, fall through, or just flat out go wrong. Why? Because there is so much we can learn from what not to do. So grab a cup of coffee or maybe a glass of wine and settle in. I'm going to walk you through some of the toughest real estate transactions I've seen or heard about, and more importantly, the lessons we can all take away from them. Let's start with the deal that fell apart. This one still stings. A young couple found their dream home in Murrieta. It checked all their boxes. Great school district, open concept kitchen, big backyard for their two pups. They were in love with it. We got everything lined up, pre-approval, earnest money, inspections scheduled. Then out of nowhere, the seller decided to accept another offer. Now, here's the twist. They had already signed the purchase agreement with my clients. Turns out the seller got cold feet, then got dollar signs in their eyes when another buyer offered a few thousand more and waived contingencies. That's not just frustrating, it's legally messy. My clients were devastated. Well, they had already started packing, but because the contract wasn't clearly reviewed and the timelines weren't enforced, it created a gray area the seller took advantage of. Lesson learned? Contracts matter. And so does having an agent who knows how to protect you when things get shaky. Next up, let's talk legal nightmares. One situation that still gives me chills involved a home sale in Menifee where the seller didn't disclose a major easement issue. On the surface, the home was beautiful. Great layout, nice lot, quiet street. But what the buyers didn't know was that the back corner of the property had a utility easement that made it nearly impossible to build that pool they were dreaming of. And here's the kicker, the seller knew, but they thought, well, no one's asking, so I won't mention it. Not only did the deal fall apart at closing, but the buyers were out of pocket for the inspection, appraisal, and several weeks of emotional stress. This is why transparency matters so much. Full disclosure isn't just a box to check. It's a legal and ethical requirement. And buyers, do your homework, ask the questions, dig into the title report. It's not boring paperwork. It's your future peace of mind. Now, let's talk about inspection disasters. This one happened during the sale of a charming older home in Temecula. We're talking lots of character, original hardwood floors, built-ins, even a clawfoot tub. And it looked like something out of a Pinterest board. But what the seller didn't know, and the buyer didn't check until after the inspection deadline, was that the home had some serious foundation issues. We're talking visible cracks, moisture in the crawl space, and sagging floors. It turned into a structural engineer's dream and a buyer's nightmare. The buyers tried to renegotiate, the seller refused, and the whole thing collapsed. Here's what we take away from that one. Inspections are not the time to be passive, whether you're buying or selling. Always bring in a qualified home inspector and do it early. And if you're selling an older home, it's not a bad idea to do a pre-inspection so you're not blindsided during escrow. Let's talk lessons. All of these stories have one thing in common. Someone dropped the ball. Sometimes it's the buyer, sometimes it's the seller, and sometimes it's the lack of professional support. That's why I always say, don't go it alone. A good real estate agent, a sharp lender, a thorough inspector, these folks aren't just boxes on a checklist. They are your safety net. Here's what I want you to remember. Do your due diligence. That means understanding the contract, reading the disclosures, walking the property more than once. Ask the hard questions. Is there an easement? When was the roof last replaced? Has there ever been water damage? Don't skip steps. Yes, waiving contingencies might make your offer look stronger, but it could cost you dearly down the line. Here's what I know to be true. The best deals are the ones where everyone feels good walking away from the table. Real estate is emotional, it's personal, but it also involves real money, real contracts, and real consequences. So learn from these stories, laugh a little, cringe a lot, but most importantly, take these lessons to heart when it's your turn. As we wrap up today's episode, here's my challenge to you. If you have a real estate horror story, I'd love to hear it. Seriously, drop me a message on Instagram or shoot me an email. Your story might just help someone else avoid the same mistake. And if you're feeling overwhelmed or unsure about your next real estate move, please don't go it alone. Let's talk. I'm here to help, and so is the amazing team at Jones Realty Group. You can find me at jonesrealtygroup.com or just search Liz Jones Temecula, and I'll pop right up. And thank you for being here with me today on Local Living Tri-City. Until next time, stay sharp, ask questions, and work with people who have your back.
Thank you for listening to Local Living Tri-City. Stay tuned for more insights and stories from Temecula, Murrieta, Menifee, and surrounding areas. Be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with a friend that is passionate about the Tri-City area as you are. Goodbye for now, and we'll see you next episode.